Hi, today we're looking at mussels. No, not that sort of mussel. Put your shirt back on. This sort of mussel. We're on a beach up in Scotland. It's a bitterly cold day. In fact, it's Christmas Day as well. But it's been lovely and sunny up till now. The sun's now dropped behind the clouds. But it's been very bright sunlight, lovely blue skies. And the gulls and the carrion crows have been picking mussels up off the beach, going up into the air and dropping them to smash them open on the rocks. It's a fairly common bit of behaviour amongst gulls. Not something I get to see every day because I live in the Midlands, but I've seen it in Sussex, I've seen it in Norfolk, and now I've seen it on this beach today. So I've been trying to photograph it. The problem has been the light has really been out at sea, so the sun has been coming in from the sea. I really need to be out on a boat on the sea to get the right angle on the light. But by coming down to the water's edge, I've got the sun not quite behind me, but I've got it at an angle. And then the gulls are flying up here into this bit of sky. The next problem I got is they don't fly high enough, and we've got a bit of a hill out there. And I really want them against the sky, not against the hill. Because when they drop the mussel, it's not very big, and for it to stand out and to be seen in the picture, really wants to be against the sky. And since it's been a blue sky, that would work. So the only way I can improve that is when I'm photographing, I have to go down low so that I'm getting more skyline than I am the hill.
Google tells me that there are 23 species of birds that are known to drop food items that open them up on rocks, mostly gulls and crow species.
Trouble is I can't hold that position very long. I should have gone back to the car to get me camping stool, then I could sit down low. From an exposure point of view, or the camera setting point of view, it's a very simple picture. You want the continuous autofocus. I want the bird eye tracking on with all the wide focusing points. This is the Sony A1 with the 200 to 600. It's a very straightforward exposure. I'm shooting at 1600 ISO, which is my default setting for this camera. I don't go slower than 1600 because I don't see an improvement in the quality. I often go faster because it's incredible at higher ISOs, but 1600 is more than adequate here. I'm shooting wide open. I don't need much depth of field. The bird's a fair distance away from me, so I've already got a reasonable amount of depth of field, and I want a shutter speed of 2500 and upwards. And with this light conditions, it will be probably between 4000 to 8000ths of a second, so more shutter speed than I really need.
No problem with getting close to the gulls. In fact, sometimes they're coming too close. If this bird goes up in the air now, I'm going to really struggle to keep it in the frame. On the whole, they were flying up from further down the beach, and I didn't want to go too close to them because there's lots of waders there too, oyster catchers and turnstones, and those would be flushable if I was to walk down there. So here's the gull going up with a mussel. As far as I know, they're all juvenile herring gulls. I do struggle to identify the juvenile gulls. I think most people do. But this is where I want the bird against the skyline. And I'd be very happy if he dropped it at about this point, which he did. And you can see that mussel doesn't move very far between each frame. But the other thing that happens is immediately the gull has dropped it, the gull starts to come down as well. And you can imagine why that is, because once the mussel hits the rock and splits open, other gulls are going to dive in too. So the one that's done the work and carried it up there wants to go down with it, so he's first to get to the feast. Not that the mussel always breaks open, and usually it took several attempts. They'd have to pick it up, fly back up in the air and try again. Here we go. And sometimes they would fly directly up in the air. On other occasions they'd fly up and circle round and then go up in the air. But they were usually facing towards me because the wind was coming from behind me, more or less. And birds like to fly into the wind. at takeoff or landing. And as this bird drops it, he was coming out of the air almost as fast as the mussel, going lower and lower. I probably had something like a 2-hour window to do this photography in. That was while the sun was shining and the sky was blue. And in that time, you don't get many opportunities to do it. They're not dropping the mussels constantly. So you do have some long waits where nothing is happening, and then the bird might be too far away or too close. But I did get several attempts at it.
The sun is still stuck behind the cloud. I suspect I'm not going to get any more flight pictures. I really want the sun shining for the flight shots. So I swapped over to video, which means I've put the tripod up. If you're shooting video, you really want the stability of a tripod. And I've been concentrating on the crow. Now the crows drop the mussels as well. I've seen them fly up with them, but they only fly about 6 feet high, then drop the mussel. You wouldn't think that would cause enough damage to the shell to open it, but they seem to be doing okay. But the other thing I've noticed with the crow is they're burying things. They're picking up shells and mussels and burying it into the seaweed, presumably to cache it and find it later on. Birds do this. I've seen crows and I've seen rooks do it. Never seen them do it on a beach with shells into seaweed. Be amazed if they can ever find them again. But it's been interesting to film it.
When I am filming the crow, I need to follow it about on the beach. I don't touch the panhandle. I've got these pieces of bungee attached to the panhandle and I pull on the bungee. That avoids me creating vibration from my hand touching the panhandle, and when you've got a big telephoto lens you get vibration very, very readily. Yeah, I'm sure that will be very safe there. Just cover it over with a bit more seaweed. And nobody is ever going to find that again. Thanks for watching.